When there's a minstrel near, good music can be counted on, unless his name perchance is Robin Hood or Little John.
My lord.
Yes?
I checked the arrow. It is his.
You're sure of this?
I took it from the body myself, my lord.
You're quite certain that it's one of his?
There's no mistake yet, my lord. There's no doubt at all.
There'd better not be. You understand? Good people of Nottingham, listen to me. What has happened shall be made known to you all. The raiders have been at their foul work again. Last night, Hugh Redman was killed, murdered, and his young wife widowed, and Redmond Hall burned and left in ruins. And who is this savage vandal who has been pillaging our countryside? Who is he? Twice in 2 weeks he has devastated our homes. And anyone who has dared to oppose him, he has brutally put to death. But now, at last, he has given himself away. Now we have found him out. This arrow was taken from the body of his victim. This arrow belongs to Robin Hood. Yes, Robin Hood, whom some of you thought to be your friend, because you believed that he robbed the rich to help the poor. Well, now you know the truth. He's an outlaw and a murderer.
It's not Robin Hood.
Oh. And what makes you so sure?
It's not him. Robin Hood may be an outlaw, but he's no murderer.
Aren't you Andrew Limpus, the ironsmith?
Yes, your worship.
And shall we say that at one time you made arrow tips for Robin Hood? Speak freely, man. I know that you're a decent citizen now.
Yes, your worship.
Then you are the best qualified to judge. Look at this arrow taken from the heart of Ralph Redman. Notice the feathers on the shaft. Isn't it true that those feathers come from the grey lag goose, which is found only in Sherwood Forest? And isn't it true that those feathers are used only by Robin Hood and his band of outlaws? In fact, isn't that feather Robin Hood's trademark? Well, answer, man. Is this arrow Robin Hood's or not?
Yes.
Hang Robin!
Yes, hang him.
Aye, we'll get rid of him. Go home now, people of Nottingham, and pray for our success.
Hello, stranger. This is not safe woodland for a leisurely walk. Who are you?
I hear it's particularly bad for rich Normans. Luckily, I'm not rich. And I'm certainly not a Norman.
Who are you?
Andrew Limpus, ironsmith. And I'm looking for a man called Robin Hood. I'd be thankful, Little John, if you'd take me to him.
You know me?
There aren't many your size in Sherwood. Please take me to him.
You've already arrived. Follow me.
Ah, good Andrew, the ironsmith.
Hi, Robin.
Well, are you seeking business with me again?
No, Robin. I've got a wife and children now. I'm afraid I can no longer risk your trade.
In that case, I take it this is just a social call.
No, not social. But I come as a friend. I have here an arrow, which I hope is not yours.
This is one of ours. I recognize the feather. What's wrong with this arrow?
It stopped the young heart of Ralph Redman.
Ralph Redman? You mean the young squire on the North Road, the one who was recently wed?
His home was raided and burned by vandals. He was killed by this same arrow.
Last week, vandals looted and burned the Harrington estates. This must be the same marauder.
The sheriff says that it's you who are leading these raids, Robin. He's inflamed the people of Nottingham against you.
No man of mine shot this arrow. Speak up if I'm wrong.
I'd say this was a clever trick to throw suspicion on us.
But this feather can only be found here in Sherwood.
Then someone else must be hunting the grey-like goose.
Yes, and we're going to find out who.
We're grateful to you, Andrew.
Everything we do would be destroyed if the people turned against us.
That must never happen, Robin. You're our only hope.
Thank you for your faith in us, and for your warning. We won't forget your friendship.
Good luck, Robin.
I found him.
Found who?
The hunter of the grey goose.
Where?
100 yards from the fork of the stream due south of here.
Good. No, I think I'd better do this alone. Two of us might scare him off. Good day to you, my lord. If you would shoot birds, I would suggest that you point your arrow upwards, not here.
How do you know I'm hunting birds?
You were looking heavenwards. It's commonly known that deer cannot fly.
You're an impudent fellow. Remove yourself from my presence.
I'll do so immediately, Your Grace. But I must remind you that there are very powerful laws against hunting in this forest.
Are you a forest warden?
And may I see your writ of privilege? Know ye that Baron Hubert is given privilege in full to hunt in all domains of Nottinghamshire, freely as he wills. Signed, Prince John. I'm sorry to have troubled you, Baron Hubert.
I'm not the Baron. I'm his kinsman.
My apologies, Excellency, and good hunting. This Baron Hubert seems to be a man of some influence. Do you know anything about the fellow?
Yes, he's a close friend of Prince John's and the new owner of Wells Castle. A ruthless, ambitious man from Normandy.
It looks as if he may be the man behind all this, but we need better evidence.
The best evidence is to catch him red-handed.
I can talk to him directly.
If he is guilty, we have to prove it so that not only we, but the people know that he is responsible for these attacks.
We must find out more about him and what his future plans are. We'll have to find a way of getting into Wells Castle.
We could knock on the door.
I heard Baron Hubert's having a betrothal party tomorrow night. Yes, it might work.
What might work?
That would be a way to get them inside the walls, but...
You know, we're going to have to cudgel him to bring this idea out into the open.
Listen, if two wandering minstrels should by chance come by Wells Castle during the festivities, they'd be invited inside. They could stay long enough to find out a thing or two.
It's worth a try.
It's simple. Simple ideas are best.
Yes, but it's risky. This Baron's a cunning and shrewd man, and besides, his kinsman might recognize you.
Not likely. He hardly glanced at me. Well, you and I'll make a fine duet, little John.
That's all very well, but do you know an instrument?
I used to play the guitar as a child. Well, I'll have to practice up a bit.
I blew in a pipe once. Made a tune, too.
Oh, dear. Perhaps it wasn't such a good idea.
Now, don't you worry about us. If necessary, I shall sing.
La-ta-ta-tee-a-ta-ta-ta.
Well, there it is.
Yes. Now to get inside.
And this, my dear, is Gustav, one of my bravest knights. A great ladies' man, too, eh, Charles?
Oh, Dennis, another flagon. Come with me.
Gentlemen, I give you a toast to the Lady Irina, soon to be mistress of this domain.
And soon to be First Lady of the Shire.
You didn't tell me, my lord, that you occupied such an exalted position in Nottinghamshire.
I must admit it, my dear Irina. With each passing day, I come nearer to being the most influential man in the country.
And each passing night as well.
Night?
We try to improve ourselves day and night.
I do love hunting. When shall we go?
Very soon, my dear.
Tomorrow, then.
You'll have to be just a little bit patient.
But you promised me the best hunting preserve in Nottinghamshire.
A promise which I shall keep.
Believe me, Lady Irina, this preserve is the best hunting in England. Red deer swarm through the forest like flies.
Then I don't understand why...
The title to the preserve has not quite passed into my hands as yet.
You mean it is being bequeathed to you?
In a manner of speaking, my dear, just so.
There must be better minstrels than these in Nottinghamshire.
Particularly for our betrothal.
Come here. You have offended my lady's ear.
I'm sorry, but my accompanist has bitten his tongue on a ham bone this morning. It's hard to judge notes with a sore tongue. You must forgive us, good lord and lady.
Sing us a tune by yourself.
One more false note. One further offense to my lady's ear, and I'll bleed you.
There once was an outlaw who lived in the wood, so wicked and bold and despised by the good. Some say that he plundered, spreading sorrow and pain, but no one could say what he hoped to gain. Pray, who was this fellow who all justice withstood? Just hearken, dear lady, to the name Robin Hood.
An interesting choice of ballad, minstrel, but I'm not sure that it pleases me.
I, on the contrary, found his song amusing. He has not a bad voice for a peasant.
You do me great honor, my lady. I'm sorry if my little tune displeased you, my lord. Usually songs about Robin Hood are very well received, especially now that his name is on everyone's lips.
And why, pray, have the deeds of a common outlaw suddenly become so interesting?
Because, my lady, they say it is he who has put the torch to 2 nearby manor houses.
What do you mean, they say? You speak as if there were room for doubt about this Robin Hood's guilt.
It's not my place either to doubt or believe, my lord. I'm simply a minstrel. I do no more than repeat what I hear.
He speaks well.
Yes. Too well, I should say, to be simply a minstrel.
I have a feeling I've seen him somewhere before.
Not likely, my lord. We're new to this shire.
Yes, you're mistaken. You haven't seen us before. You've just taken too much of that wine.
I'll teach you to be insolent to me.
Oh, good sir, what? He's just a clumsy oaf. There's no point in trying to hurt him.
Hurt him? I'll kill him.
Oh, now, sir, you're far too gracious a nobleman.
Out of my way, I'll run you both through with one lunge, like meat on a skewer.
He has a lot of courage for a minstrel.
I'll show you how much courage he has.
Oh, I'll
Hold on,
kill him.
Charles. We shall see whether minstrels have music in their blood or just water.
But, my lord, I have no skill or heart to fight you.
Then I shall have to teach you a lesson. For a minstrel, you fight well. Too well.
Beginner's luck, I do assure you, my lord.
Now I have it, Henry. The fellow I told you of. The one I met in Sherwood.
Sherwood, eh? Now hold. Let them go. Give them a few seconds to escape and then follow. But do not capture them or harm them.
Why did you let them get away?
My dear Irina, I'm a kindly man.
But who are they?
The dark one was the outlaw, Robin Hood. The other was one of his men. Have some more wine, my dear.
Seems to me we escaped very easily.
We took them by surprise.
No, I think they let us get away.
Why?
Perhaps the Baron's kinsman did recognize you.
All the more reason why they'd want to capture us.
Not at all. In fact, I'm sure that that's exactly what happened.
I don't understand.
Look, if Robin is killed, the Baron can no longer carry out his raids and blame it on Robin. He needs you alive and free.
You're right, Friar Tuck.
Makes sense.
Certainly it does. He let us get away, just as I wouldn't attack him when he drew his sword. I also need him alive to prove myself innocent of his crimes.
And so you both have to protect each other until the right moment.
Yes. Now, our only chance is to catch him red-handed in a raid.
While you were away, I learned that the Baron has bought up those 2 estates he burned.
Why does he take the trouble to burn them before he buys them?
Both the Harrington and the Redman estates are barren and rocky. They're no good for farming or hunting.
Wait a moment. He went to a lot of trouble to get those 2 estates, therefore they must be of some importance. Look. Wells Castle is here, the Harrington estate is here, and Redmond Manor is there. Look, they're all in a straight line, like a pointing arrow. It looks as if that is the target for their next attack.
That would be the Giles estate.
That's it. That's his next goal. The Giles estate is the finest hunting preserve in Nottinghamshire.
The Baron told the Lady Irina he would soon have the best hunting grounds in the country.
The Harrington and Redmond lands were only a corridor to the Giles estate. That's what he's after.
I overheard one of his men say they were riding tonight.
And this is our last chance. Horses, Little John. Assemble the men, Friar Tuck. Tell them to meet us at the Giles estate as quickly as they can get there. You sure they said tonight?
Yes.
Perhaps they changed their minds.
Maybe Friar Tuck was wrong.
Listen. They're coming. Good evening, Baron Hubert.
You,
We seem to keep on running into each other.
the two minstrels.
I'm sorry Sir Giles and his family aren't here to receive you, but I particularly wanted to do the honors myself. You see, I've taken it very poorly that you've tried to deceive people into thinking your deeds are mine.
You should have stuck to your foolish songs, minstrel. This night's meddling will cost you your life. It will suit me very well when they find your dead body here. The raider who failed on his last raid. At the men, and quickly!
Your style is too simple, Baron. You're not fighting a minstrel now. Watch your foot. If you overreach yourself again, you'll catch your death of cold steel. Sweating, Baron? Not afraid, surely?
The door, Charles! Open the door!
No escape that way, Baron.
What's all this? What's all the noise about?
News for the sheriff. News he's been waiting for. Away, both of you, and tell his lordship the sheriff to come immediately. The criminal will be here at any moment. His lordship can administer justice on the spot. Away, hurry! Lady Redman?
Yes, what is it?
I think we found the man who murdered your husband. Please come at once.
All right, Baron. Tell them.
It was my doing. I wanted the Giles hunting lands.
And who killed Ralph Redman?
My men did.
And the pretense that they were my men, was that your idea, too?
Hurry, Robin. That'll be the sheriff's men. We'll deal with this man.
Men of Nottingham, you heard this man's confession. Remember it well. I leave him in your hands for justice.
Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Robin Hood, with his band of men. Feared by the bad, loved by the good. Robin Hood, Robin Hood, Robin Hood. He called the greatest archers to a tavern on the green. They vowed to help the people of the king. They handled all the trouble on the English country scene and still found plenty of time to sing. Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Robin Hood, with his band of men. Feared by the bad, loved by the good.